Omaha's news leader, chronicling the stories and people making a difference in our community. This is KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle.
Good morning, I'm Julie Cornell. It impacts everything you do and how you take in the world. Vision is especially important for young children in learning. About 80% of development in childhood hinges on vision. Dr. Donnie Saw has made it his mission to serve the children here at home and in faraway places. He first met her in photographs.
Juliana is a beautiful young lady who is from a small town in Guatemala.
Dr. Donnie Saw is a pediatric eye surgeon in Omaha.
This is a congenital tumor that she was born with.
If you look closely, you can see this 12-year-old's right eye is blocked, blinded by a tumor. A medical missionary and a friend urged Dr. Saw to meet the girl named Juliana.
She was really sad. And her life, you know, young, attractive girl like this, having a mass like that coming out of the eye, I mean, it can really scar you.
Saw was willing to donate his surgical expertise. Other doctors, nurses, and Children's Hospital and Medical Center offered the rest.
Gracias. Thank you.
So a timid Juliana and her father, Diego, boarded a plane for the first time in their lives. That's Omaha, Nebraska. That's where we are. And where is your home? Yes, very good. With the help of an interpreter, Diego says he wants his child to positively impact the lives of others.
You know, the hope that I have for my daughter and the reason why I have traveled so far is for my daughter to one day have health and be able to help humanity.
Diego is a farmer in Guatemala. He and his wife have 6 children. Dr. Saw grew up in poverty in South Korea.
I actually was in a situation where I actually needed hope, where I needed help as a child.
It's surgery day.
This is a difficult case, so it makes it very risky because it's right in the center of our vision.
Juliana and her family are willing to take that significant risk.
So if the case do not go well, she could lose her eye.
The goal? Get rid of the tumor and try to give her sight.
It was actually worse than legally blind.
Dr. Saw, touched by a letter that Juliana wrote to him.
She's been praying to God that something can be done for her. She said that one day I would like to become a doctor and help people just like myself. Surgery went beautifully.
Okay. We see her just days later when she gets new glasses. The tumor is gone. The scar will fade. And Juliana.
Okay. You take care. Okay.
Her tiny, shy smile doesn't tell you, but she has 2100 vision in that eye, seeing for the first time ever.
I'm optimistic that her vision will continue to improve even further. I'm very pleased.
So she heads home to Guatemala, leaving a little gift for her doc.
1, 2, 3, cheese.
Taking with her a vision of what ultimate kindness looks like.
I feel very privileged and very fortunate that I'm in a situation where I can give back.
Wonderful. So recently, Juliana wrote to Dr. Saw and asked if he would come to her village to help people. He'll go there with a team in June. He calls it Mission Vision.
This is how we train our residents and fellows of how to do cataract surgery. I've always been fascinated with vision, like how this light touches the retina and this light gets converted into an image.
He's a scientist with a lot of heart.
Hi, how are you? Good. This actually tells me if there's any problem with the cornea, which is the front part of the eye.
Dr. Donnie Saw is an Omaha ophthalmologist.
I'm going to say I had an extremely fortunate childhood.
He's also very humble.
I was born in South Korea, and obviously we didn't have any income.
Saw was the son of a single mom. He remembers having one pair of pants.
I would have one pants, and so I would have holes in my pants, and my mother would actually give up her dress, and she would actually make a hole. She would make a square, and then she would put a patch.
His mom had a vision problem, one they could not afford to fix.
That's when I realized that my mother, I just felt that she lost a sense of hope, and so out of desperation, I told my mother, you know what, I'm going to be an eye doctor to take care of people just like you.
And so he does, knowing that 80% of learning hinges on vision.
There's nothing going on inside the eye that's going to prevent you from seeing. If the brain development is hindered by lack of vision, and if it's not reversed by the age of 8 or around that time, then it can become irreversible.
He gives people glasses, but more important, he lets them see hope.
Many miracles and angels that I've met over the years actually helped me to become where I am now.
It's life experience that shapes his days.
What makes me even more fortunate is that I understand what others go through that are in hardship. So I can relate to them.
It's the reason he's done mission trips for 20 years, keeping his mom in mind.
Her last word was, don't forget why you became a doctor.
And he has not. For him, it's all about paying it forward. We welcome Dr. Donnie Saw. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Julie.
You've been doing these trips for 20 years. So what do you do on the trips? Why do you do it?
Just like the story talked about, you know, I grew up in an environment where I needed hope, and I'm in an opportunity where I can actually pay forward. So I just give back.
Right. Where have you been?
I've been all over the place. You know, I've been 30 different sites. Let's see, Africa, all over Africa, Asia, Europe, just many different places.
Right.
Yeah.
So you and a team are planning a trip to Guatemala in June. This one will be a little bit different. You have some goals this time, some big goals.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so this particular trip is actually different than the previous ones that I've been to because this is actually about building relationship. Previously, I would go to a particular location and I would actually do surgeries, and I would actually teach the local doctors of how to do surgeries. And typically, I do not go back to the same location.
Okay.
It was very difficult for me to build any type of long-term relationship.
Sure.
So we do use telemedicine.
Okay.
So we do communicate by emails, and we do communicate, but this one is actually unique in a few different ways. One is that it's not just me going, but actually the whole community is going. What I mean by that is that I'm actually collecting glasses throughout Omaha. So I'm actually taking the love of Omaha people, and actually I'm distributing the love locally. So that's actually different. And second thing is that once I go there, I'm planning on building an eye clinic. That's my dream. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but I'm hoping to supply enough equipment so that it will be sustainable. Okay. So I'm going to go and teach the local doctors of how to use the equipment and how to do eye exams, but also I'm going to have them be able to continue the mission after I leave. Excellent. And then on top of that, I'm actually going to have I'm trying to have an ongoing relationship where I can send our nurses, the nurse practitioners and physician assistants and public health students, and then medical students and residents, and go, and then they can exchange ideas and learn from each other.
Right, and maybe have regular rotations where they can train.
Yeah, that's my goal.
Has that been done before out of Omaha?
I'm going to say, I think that I do know that there's some other programs that are somewhat similar. But
not so much with eyes?
No, no, not with eyes.
Good. Well, this is new ground for you.
That's
then.
Right.
Very exciting.
Thank you.
You talked about how Omaha is a very giving community. That will help you reach your goals, right?
Yes, yes. I've actually always known, actually one of the things that attracted me to Omaha is the amount of philanthropy that goes on. And I've always been amazed because you know, I actually lived in Iowa, and I was always looking at Omaha and looking at all the philanthropy that's going on, you know, both at the medical center, at the children's hospital, just throughout Omaha.
Throughout the community,
yeah, throughout the community. I was actually been very impressed. And so through this program, actually, we were, you know, with your help, thank you, Julie, we were able to get the community support to collect glasses. And right now, I was hoping for a couple of hundred glasses.
Right.
Now I have thousands, and I don't have.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, actually, I don't have space to store them.
Should we stop the collecting?
No.
Okay.
I would like to have it keep coming.
Okay. Because what I think is going to happen is you'll have glasses for years to come in different trips. You'll be able to keep the clinic in glasses.
Yes.
You're going to go through, and we'll tell folks how they can donate those glasses in a bit, but you'll go through and actually read the prescriptions and write on them, and you'll know exactly where they're going to go to the right person, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So these glasses, each glasses have certain owners. So it's going to go to the right owners.
Good. We want to match them perfectly.
Yeah.
Tell me about your goal each day, and we've talked about this a little bit. You said you can't go to sleep until two things happen in your mind, right?
Yes. I think this is true for many people, but for physicians, for people in healthcare, I think, many of us actually have like this, we have a little bit of OCD, like we want to do what's best for the patient. So sometimes like things don't sometimes turn out quite well. Like your intention is good, but remember, we're dealing with human body, and sometimes these human body can have a very different outcome than what you expect. So I always ask myself two questions. The first question is that, did I try to help people? So if the answer is yes, then I go to the second question. And then the second question is, did you try your 100%? Did you try your very best? And if the second answer is yes, then I'm able to go to sleep. Because in the past, that was really difficult for me personally. And this is actually a lesson for a lot of the young doctors and medical professionals. As long as you try your best, that's all we could do.
Right, that's all you can ask of yourself.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
So it's a little checklist in your mind every single day. We talked about your mom. Did she ever get her vision problem corrected?
No. So she actually passed away right before I started my practice.
Okay.
So it was actually very, very unfortunate. So it's kind of interesting story. So actually she needed help. So we actually did go to a hospital for help, and we got turned away. So that's when I promised her that I will take care of her. I will take care of it. And then a month before, actually it was like about a month to 2 months before I finished my fellowship at Hopkins, and that's when she passed away. So I never got to fix her.
Right.
But the irony of the whole story, I'm going to actually tell you, I didn't tell you this, Julie, last time, is that I was actually invited to give a talk at the same place that rejected my mom.
Oh my goodness. Did you let them know what happened?
I did.
Wow,
I did. Yeah, I did. Actually, so that was the circle of life. So it was actually a great learning experience for them.
Right.
The thing is that on their defense, there's so much we could do. I mean, there's like, when I try to help people, and as a matter of fact, this is very important. When I go to these foreign mission trips, there are certain patients that I cannot help.
Right, and we understand that.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
So, and then I just tell them, I'm sorry, I don't have the ability, I just don't have the capacity, I don't have the team that they can actually help you.
Right.
And but the thing is that, there are different ways of letting them know that there's nothing you can do.
Absolutely.
So it was a good learning experience for everybody.
Right. You do the best you can with what you have.
That's right.
Right. Well, I'm very excited to say that photojournalist Andy Ozaki and I will be going along on that Guatemala trip to shoot some stories on your work there. We were awarded the Andy Award for International Journalism from UNO's Department of International Studies. And Andy and I did a documentary in South Sudan in 2013. We can't wait to share the story of Mission Vision with you. When we come back, a cool invention making glasses better for a special group of kids, thanks to two Omaha men. You're watching KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle. Welcome back. We've been talking with Dr. Donnie Saw. He's an ophthalmologist here in Omaha with Omaha's Children's Hospital and Medical Center, UNMC, and Nebraska Medicine. He is super busy, guys. He's also an inventor. Dr. Saw has 6 patents for surgical tools he created and also for a special eyeglass adapter for children. With us now is Dr. Donnie Saw and his invention partner, James Hermsen. Thanks so much for being here, guys. And James, you are a carpenter by trade, and you sort of fell upon an invention for glasses. Was it a mistake? Was it an accident?
I was working on a job in the mountains, and my glasses fell off my head, and I accidentally stepped on them.
Oh, man.
And I was 100 miles away from the nearest optical store to have them fixed, so I started looking around for different materials that I could fix my glasses with.
Sure.
And I found some monofilament cord, which is normally used for weed whacking your lawn.
Oh, yeah.
And I drilled holes into my glasses at the temples and strapped on the cord.
The weed whacker cord.
And tied knots in the front and went back to work. And,
it works.
And it works. And they work really well.
Was that kind of an aha moment? Like, hey, I could be onto something?
Well, they felt really comfortable, yes.
Did people give you a hard time about your glasses?
Actually, people were complimenting me about them. I got so many compliments that I decided that maybe it would be something that I should pursue and share with more people.
Right. And so did you originally make a line of glasses for like hunters or people who worked outdoors or people with kind of rugged jobs?
Well, my background is bicycling and running and just being active. So for anyone who's active, whether they're on the job site or out recreating, being adventuresome. So
you want to keep your glasses on your face.
Right.
Kind of a primary concern. How did you venture into this group of special needs children and what they need for eyewear?
Well, my brother was a carpenter, and his son also had difficulty keeping his glasses on.
Okay.
And so I started manufacturing eyewear, and I started making kids' glasses because if he thought it was a good idea, I thought it was a good idea too.
Sure.
And I started working with the university, optical, and there were some really difficult kids that couldn't keep their glasses on.
Sure.
And we were having some really good results. And so that's kind of how...
and then you and Dr. Saw got together and came up with a great idea, right? Tell me about this.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. So working through the university and discovering that there's a need for specialty eyewear, one thing I had never discovered was that there are actually children who are born with microtia, which is a congenital deformity of lack of ear formation.
Okay.
There's partial formation or no ear at all, and so there was a mom who asked me if I could make a pair of glasses for her, and I stayed up all night till 4 in the morning thinking of how I was going to do this because I had a meeting with her the next day.
Oh my goodness, you're trying to come up with some solution. We could put up that photo. We have the Sue Harmson medical adapter. That's what you came up with, or it was a version of that, right?
That's the initial design.
Okay.
And since then we've made it adjustable. So now when I send the glasses out, any mom or dad can easily adjust the glasses just by pulling on them.
That is so handy.
And so the glasses don't actually rest on the ear because we have a strap that goes over the top.
Okay.
And that strap is also adjustable as well. So there's no pressure around the ear for people with ear sensitivity issues.
Sure.
And so oftentimes microtia is just one side, but sometimes it's two sides.
It can be two sides. Dr. Saw, has this been a game changer for kids?
Yes, it truly is. So the microtia is just a medical term for people with malformation of the ears.
Sure.
And the glasses were actually invented about 700 years ago. And the glasses is perfect if you have ears.
Sure.
But for people without the ears, it's a nightmare because they would wear the glasses typically like this.
Sure.
And all these glasses, you actually have to look through the optical center.
Okay.
So if it's off center, then it's useless. They can't see. And not just that, but I mean, just think about this, the impact on self-esteem.
Sure.
So so we actually, James actually came up with the adapter, came up with the glasses, and then I actually came up with the adapter. So we worked together to make this. So this truly has been a game changer for people with the microtia or like any type of malformation of the ears.
James, tell me about a little guy named Joel. He's so cute. We have some photos of him.
Yeah, Joel is a little boy who has golden hairs, and it's a craniofacial deformity, and also sometimes they have microtia. Well, his mom made a post on Facebook, and the post went viral, and she was talking about how kids should have more compassion for other kids who look different and not be fearful of them. And so that post went viral, and
did other people reach out to you?
And Joel's mom reached out to me, and then another mom responded to that. and said that you should get a hold of James,
Right.
and maybe he can help. So she did, and I sent Joel a pair of glasses, and his mom responded by saying that they really changed his life and gave him a lot of confidence.
That must make you feel really good.
Yeah, it makes me feel really good.
So these glasses, even though the numbers are small, you're impacting kids around the world with these, right? You're sending them everywhere?
Right. Through the Microtia support group, they share the results that we're having, and then moms and families from all over literally other countries, Mexico, South America, Canada, Europe, and then all over the USA, we've managed to get glasses out to these kids and make an impact.
Right.
So
It's huge.
it is huge.
And I'm really impressed about this one fact too. You do this free of charge.
I don't charge the families. I started charging the families in the beginning, the cost of the glasses and shipping, and then I just started charging them shipping. And then I decided that it was just a lot easier for me just to send them the glasses and get them to them and make them available to them for no charge, because I can afford to do that. And I'm hoping that it may get supported by doing so.
Sure.
And it makes other people want to help me, and I have groups that volunteer to help put the glasses together. And so if I'm not profiting from it, then people want to help me help people.
Sure.
And then everybody feels really positive about making an impact on people who aren't as fortunate as we are.
Sure. And do you make them all locally? Do you use a 3D printer?
We make the glasses locally.
Okay.
I order the materials from different places, and we do use a 3D printer. In the beginning, the glasses weren't adjustable, and so that was one of the difficulties was when I would send the glasses out, having the families try to
fit them.
To adjust them,
Right.
fit them, and it was a little bit challenging, so we didn't get the best results. And once the Center for Emerging Advanced Technology at Metro Omaha Community College opened, I was able to have access to 3D printing.
Right.
And so we started 3D printing the adjuster mechanisms on the glasses that allow it to be adjustable.
Expand and contract and control the design. Very good.
And then we were also able to start printing the fronts.
Sure, the frames.
And this frame has
So clever.
the eye above is built out to not rub on the eyelashes or the eyes.
Sure.
And then we also built out the nose bridge here because this little boy doesn't have any nose bridge.
Okay, so you adjust it for the kids. I love this. I love what you're doing here. We're gonna tell folks how they can help with the eyeglass drive. Thank you so much, James.
Thank you, Julie.
If you have any unused eyeglasses laying around the house, the ones that you're not using, you might be able to help with Mission Vision. We're gonna have those details next. You're watching KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle. Welcome back. Vision is a critical part of learning and growing, and Mission Vision is making that possible here at home and in places like Guatemala. Well, last year, Dr. Saw helped Children's Hospital and Medical Center take the mission on the road. In September, they cut the ribbon on the Vision Mobile. The 33-foot RV is a rolling exam room decked out with the latest equipment, even a display with eyeglass frames. Second grader Yolanda Ramirez is pleased that she won't have to sit in the front of the class anymore.
How are things looking right now?
Good.
How are they? Tell me how they're better.
They look clear.
They look clear. Did you have trouble seeing in the classroom?
Yeah.
What kind of things couldn't you see?
When we used to do math, I couldn't see for far away.
So organizers say for 90% of children, vision problems can be corrected with a pair of glasses. The Vision Mobile goes to schools with poverty rates of 75% or higher. Children's Hospital hopes to help treat as many as 6,000 patients every year. You can help with Mission Vision. The team is collecting your prescription eyeglasses that you're not using anymore. You can donate readers as well. All of the glasses will be used for mission trips or here at home for folks in need. There are 9 drop boxes around town, including Millard North, Tri-Faith Initiative Community Center, Creighton Medical Center. Check KETV.com for the full list. Thanks for joining us here on Chronicle. I'm Julie Cornell.